Welcome Guardians, this is Winch here. Wanted to provide my first review of finally a weapon in Destiny called the Abyss Defiant. This is the auto rifle that just dropped here in the latest hard mode of Crota's End. The biggest thing about this gun is the Lynch Bane perk on it. Allows you to disorient wizards, the Hive Disruptor, which is increased damage like all the weapons do, and focus fire. Let's see this weapon in action. I'm going to jump in here to a public event and take on a wizard. And this is a hollow wizard, so it's got a little more damage on it. And you can see what it does is it puts a purple cloud on this with the Lynch Bane perk, and it basically just disorients the wizard, confuses them, it makes them act erratic. You'll see them just start spamming their attack in various directions. Bottom line is they become much less of a threat to you. This is probably the most useful perk of this weapon. And I think this is more of a PvE weapon. I'm going to show you both PvE and PvP elements of the gameplay here in a moment with this weapon. But in PvE, this weapon is the one you want to have, I think, particularly with wizards, because those are always one of the most difficult aspects of PvE. So many missions that you can struggle with these wizards in. And I think in Crota's End, the hard mode in particular, this is going to be the weapon you're going to want to have, especially with that increased damage to majors. Obviously, I don't have all the perks unlocked for it yet, but this is pretty much as you can see it here in action. It's not predictable. You'll have to put a decent amount of damage. Sometimes it takes right away. Sometimes it takes more for threats, or more hits on the target, that is. And you'll see here the wizard here get disoriented again. You're going to see it just throw out its poison mist, and that's pretty much where I put it out of its her misery. Focus fire, though, that's what intrigued me most about this weapon, because oddly enough, that's a perk you see Bungie getting away from in a lot of its weapons. It doesn't drop. You don't see it. It doesn't drop on weapons that drop now in terms of legendary, or even, well, some blue weapons drop with focus fire. But there's nothing in the Vanguard with focus fire that you can purchase. It wasn't available in the reroll options with the Iron Banner. I was hoping to reroll Simar's, or how you say it, Simar's Wrath with focus fire, but that was not available. It seems like Bungie knows that's a very powerful perk. You only see it on the Suros. What it does is it slows the rate of fire the weapon down, but increases the damage, I believe, up to 40% thereabouts, but also as a consequence of a reduced fire rate. Now, some people don't like that on the Suros regime, for example, because they think it's a net DPS drop in comparison. However, I do like it because it gives me two advantages. One, stability. I get my headshots of the weapon on target much more often with focus fire weapons compared to ones that don't. Stability, and then I like higher damage. That to me, the Suros is just a great example of that weapon. It's a weapon I don't use much just because I think it's just too powerful. It just drives me crazy to see people just spamming the Suros all day long. But you can't deny the fact that the Suros is an incredible weapon. Now, this weapon is nothing compared to Suros. It's just simply, you saw the stats at the beginning, it's more of a higher fire rate weapon. I compare this to a Sinjin. This is just like a Sinjin. I've actually dropped Sinjins before, like the Sinjin E. Blue variant of that weapon with focus fire and even range, and I think that's a better option than this in PvP. But that being said, this weapon's not terrible. I just think that there's much better options out there. One, the Suros being one. I mean, if you don't want to occupy your exotic slot, this would be a great option, a great alternative to that if you still want a weapon focus fire. But again, Sinjin E will pretty much do that for you. I think there's other weapons out there, even I've seen them drop a couple times in strikes. The new Dark Below blue weapons, or some auto rifles that have dropped with focus fire. I've had pretty good success with that. Stats are real similar to this. So all those particular perks and stuff kind of go out the window with this weapon in PvP. But you can still do decent with it. 26 damage or 27 damage a headshot's not bad with this weapon with the focus fire. You have to have focus fire, by the way. I don't think there's any reason you would want, hip fire perk over this. Of course, you can choose between the two. I showed you that in the beginning. It has both the option for a hip fire or focus fire. I'll go with focus fire because this weapon needs the damage boost. Now, there's a weapon I have that's called Up for Anything. Right there, you can see just how many headshots that took. I mean, 26 damage. It took about 5 shots or so there to put that guy down. That was AFK. I'll take it when I can. But up for anything's a weapon I want to review as well. I got one with a real good roll with Field Scout, which gave it like 56 rounds, crowd control, and stability. It's pretty monstrous. Now here in a moment, I'm going to show you a pretty good kill streak I go on this map with this weapon. I'm going to recommend a loadout with this that I think you need to have. This is, if you're going to run this weapon, you're obviously going to want to have an exotic somewhere in your loadout. I stay away from exotic heavies. I think they're a little bit overkill. I think about any heavy you have is pretty good. I stick with secondary exotics for my PvP loadouts. I really like Pocket Infinity, and I'm really growing to like this weapon, Plan C. I think this is a great complement if you're going to choose to run this loadout, because this isn't a bad loadout. This weapon's just really good at medium range. I'd stay away from close range engagements. I'd pull out Plan C for that. I'd try to stay away from it. Just keep yourself in medium range, and you saw the range stat on it. It's not good at long range, so really there's only one range this weapon's good for. I think that's why there's better alternatives to this weapon in PvP. But Plan C is a great complement here. You can see me going like a 13 kill streak right here in the middle of the team spawn. Yes, shoulder charge. It's OP. Let me hear it now. The Titan Smash panic button. Let me hear it now. I like Titans. That's what I run. I think the supers do require skill. I have to get close to my enemies. I have to. I put myself at a lot of risk whenever I use the Storm Fist. Typically, you can get killed a lot of times with Storm Fist. Typically, get killed a lot of times before you even implement Storm Fist. So here you can see me pull out Plan C, reading the threat detector here, trying to use cover, using the staircase to get me low, and you'll see me do this one more time. A pretty good example of that. Watching that threat detector left and right. Again, this weapon's got a good charge rate. I don't even have the fast charge rate unlocked in this. I'm actually using Hammer Forged. I like range more than anything. You can see why here in a moment. I'm breaking out the dance in the middle of it. This is when you turn it on. Throwing out the lightning grenade there, sticking on the wall. Again, these are tactics that good Titan players do. I've used Titan a lot. I know the capabilities of this class and how to use my strengths to my advantage. There's a failed shoulder charge, and when you fail like that, a lot of times pulling back and reanalyzing is the kind of tactic I use and employ. It allows me to increase my longevity a little bit more there. Again, Plan C is devastating at close range. Throw out the supercharger one more time. Now check this kill out here in a moment. Look at this guy like running away. I'm like, where do you think you're going? No, no, no. Plan C said otherwise. Let's see that again. Boom. Yeah, I know fusion rifles call for the nerf now, guys, but you know, I really don't think they're unbalanced. A lot of people think that. I've made some really long shots with them, but it takes skill to aim it. It takes skill to know when to charge it, and you're at a big disadvantage a lot of times with those long range shots because you're trading that off for a quick charge rate. I think it leaves you vulnerable a lot of times. Shotguns are just as frustrating as fusion rifles. So, to call for a nerf without nerfing everything would be that'd be my criticism. Here I kind of got away in the gameplay a little bit from the auto rifle here. As again, I'm just kind of leaning towards this weapon just to hammer it home one more time how much I use this sidearm. You gotta keep keep yourself where your strengths are with your loadout. Know your loadout. Using Plan C in those short-range engagements is going to be much more advantageous to your longevity as opposed to pulling out this auto rifle. Auto rifles are very weak in a lot of respects now. I really think they're a little too weak because hand cannons are just absolutely destroying this. Here's a good clip here at the end. Throw the grenade up behind those two enemies. Take cover. I'm going to peek this corner good. There's a good kill now with this weapon. Put out a little more damage out there. Almost pulled off, I think, another kill after that one. And then I get kind of overwhelmed here again. But all in all, this weapon's not bad. I hope you guys like this video. Please like, subscribe. I will try to have more Destiny reviews of weapons to come. Myself, my personal favorite are pulse rifles, so you'll get to see a review of 3 little words here to come pretty soon. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the battlefield.